Hi, everyone. This is Carolyn, and I'm here with Aaron. And this is part 2 of our episode with Swupnil, who is the CEO of SwingVision. Swupnil has a PhD in statistics and worked at Tesla. If you want to learn more about SwingVision and their new feature called Coach Reviews, please go back to part 1. But in this episode, we start off by discussing electronic line calling. So here it is.
So yeah, tell people will we ever get it in league tennis?
I'm very confident we'll get it in league tennis.
Yes, that's what I want to hear.
So I should continue tennis.
How long do we have to play until we can get SwingVision?
Yes,
do we have to be 90 or 60? What do we have to be?
You should start recording every match with SwingVision already, so we can go back and find all the people who hooked. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that. But
exactly.
But no, so yeah, I guess it's been a journey with the line calling stuff. So, with SwingVision today, in an amateur match, you can already challenge calls using your Apple Watch, which is like pretty fun.
That's my favorite.
Definitely, yeah, and
I
you've already
love
used
that
this.
feature so much. I actually don't do it in a match, not to interrupt, but I will say, practicing with my friends when I set it up, I love that my watch just like buzzes me, and I'm like, I know whether it's in or out. It's so great. I'm like, it takes and I can actually hear it.
Yes.
Like if I'm on the side with my phone, I can actually hear the whatever sound it makes. But the fact that it's buzzing my watch from far away, I'm like, I know right away. It just takes all the doubt out of it. It's so nice. So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I love that feature.
No. That's great. I mean, that's such a cool story. And you actually brought up our most advanced version of that. So there's like 2 modes. One is where like, if you're not sure if it was in or out, you can just go to your watch and like kind of check, and it'll show you a video. It'll tell you whether it was in or out. So that's like a challenge system. But we actually more recently introduced about 6 months ago a live feature, which is very much like what you see on TV with Hawkeye Live. And so it will play a sound as soon as the ball bounces out, and it will buzz your watch if you happen to be wearing a watch. But what's cool is like, even if you don't have a watch, you can just hear the sound, and you can usually hear it from both sides of the court if you just turn your volume up to the max.
Yep.
And so that's a really fun new feature, and it's a great way to use SwingVision. That's called live line calls. And, I would only recommend that for like casual social play right now.
That's what I do.
Definitely cannot use this for like any sanctioned matches. That's our goal.
Playoffs. Don't bring it to playoffs yet. Yet.
I thought about sneaking to a match early one day and just setting it up randomly somewhere, but
I love
just
that.
sneak it, just put it on from the outside. Yeah, but you can see if you try this out yourself in your social matches, you can see the vision and like, pun unintended, but you can actually see like where this is going to go as well. That like every amateur match will have this eventually, because it's just so accessible now on your phone. Now, in order for us to get it into like sanctioned events, we have to go through this whole like certification process, which is something that Hawkeye did to get into the slams. And so it's almost as rigorous as what they had to go through. It's through the ITF, so the International Tennis Federation. They're the ones that certify any line calling technology. And what's really cool is now they've released some new standards for amateur tennis for the first time. And so Hawkeye has what's called like a gold certification, but at the amateur level, it's the silver. So it's like not as accurate as gold, but it's still way more accurate than the human eye. That's basically the threshold.
It could be bronze or whatever's below bronze for all I care, because it's still better than us. Like, it's still going to be better than our own eye.
Yeah, Swupnil, what did you say? How much better is a camera than the human eye? I remember you said that in one of the episodes, and I've been telling people this.
It's true.
Yeah, so the main metric we look at, which is also actually the one that ITF looks at, is the accuracy for any call where the ball lands like within 10 centimeters of the line. That's what they consider like a close call. And so if it's that close, the human eye is accurate about 90% of the time. So it's like decent, but not great. But most humans are like around 90. Obviously, some people's eyes better than others, but that's like kind of where it lands. And then
most are worse.
Some are, most are worse.
Most are worse.
It's a skewed distribution. But like the silver certification is you need to be at least 95% for those calls. And that's on like any line, whether it's the baseline, the service line, a really fast serve down the tee, whatever it is. So that's kind of their threshold. And so internally right now, this hasn't been verified by others. It's just been verified by us to date. But we're seeing that SwingVision's around 97% for those really close calls. So we're like exceeding that threshold. Now we need to basically demonstrate that to the ITF through a series of tests, and it's very specific. Like they'll shoot a ball like really fast right near the line, and they'll do this on like a bunch of different lines. So they have a whole process for this, and so we have to go through with that with them, and then validate the accuracy. And then what's also exciting is we're actually now developing a 2-camera version, because for like really high level events, like let's say like a Billie Jean King, national hardcore type of event that just happened in Barnes, you want to have like the ultimate accuracy for that level of an event, or like a Junior Orange Bowl, which is like an international level event. So for that, you can set up one phone on each side. And what we're finding right now is if you do that, the close call accuracy is like above 99%. So it's just like blows the human accuracy out of the water. So we're really excited about that. So that's what we're working on right now, is developing that 2-camera system and then trying to get both of those systems certified. Hopefully we can get both. If not, like maybe at least it'd just be the 2-camera system, but we want to get at least like something certified, and then roll that out. And then in the meanwhile, we've also been doing pilots in parallel. So last year we did a pilot with USTA SoCal. We actually officiated over 500 junior matches with SoCal last year. And these were like pretty significant level events. We did a few sectionals, and these were like kids from across the country coming to LA to play in these events. And so that was received really well. That was just with the 1-camera system, and it was already received quite well. And then this year we expanded the partnership to USDA Florida. And so now we have 2 sections that we're doing pilots with. And so they're also focusing mostly on junior events. But it's so cool. Like we've just done a lot of hard work over the last year to basically build like a whole new version of SwingVision for tournaments, where you can set up like phones on like 15 courts simultaneously and like manage all of them remotely. And then every court has an iPad as well, that's at the net post, and that's how the players actually challenge. So they walk up and then they can challenge a call on the iPad, and they can do it on their own. They don't even need like an official to do this.
How much did you see that? How much did you see that happening with the juniors? Because they never believe that the ball is.
Yeah, I love that idea. I love it.
It was night and
fantastic.
day. I mean, it was amazing. And like, well, first of all, the first thing that we saw was that people didn't have to challenge that often, because people were just being like a lot more honest, because they know that they can be challenged and they know that they're on video. Yeah. So that right away, like you said, for you, Carolyn, I think like if you just started filming with SwingVision, that already would probably change people's behavior.
Yeah, there's a camera up.
Yes.
Just knowing that it's like on tape already, dissuades a lot of it. But then after that, it's like, okay, then you're going to still have like some honest like bad calls, because it just happens, like the ball is moving really fast. And so in those situations now you can challenge. And so players would go up and challenge. And it was really cool. It was just like the way that ATP WTA used to do it, where you had like 3 challenges per set and all that, right? So it's that system right now. But then as you alluded to, Aaron, like the goal is to get it to live line calls. And so eventually this system will be at a level where you don't even need to walk up to the iPad. You're just going to hear a sound and like it's going to call it out. Now that's a little bit more challenging to do in a scenario when you have like 15 courts and they're all right next to each other and there's like sounds going off. And so we have to still kind of work with the USTA to figure out like what's the best way to deploy that kind of a system. I think that's still like maybe a couple years thing. But I would say the challenge system, our goal right now is to get that certification by early next year. And so going into like next summer, you start seeing this at like a lot of junior tournaments. But also USTA is really interested in getting this into adult leagues as well. There's a specific team on the leagues that's like really interested about this too. And so, we'll have to figure out the logistics of how all that works. And maybe it's going to have to also be a 2-camera system where it's like, if I'm playing someone else, like someone from my team puts up a phone, someone from your team puts up a phone, but that way it's like feels more objective. Because you can imagine if I'm just putting up the phone, my opponent might be kind of like, that's a little weird. Like, why is just your phone making my calls? Like, so there's a perception, at least, that like it could be biased. But I think if both people are putting up phones, it's like pretty easy. Everybody has a smartphone. So like this should be like pretty scalable and like easy for everybody to be able to do. But we just got to make sure that like the experience is really good. It's like easy to set up. Everyone's like setting up the right way so that the accuracy is good. So there's a whole like logistics challenge behind it. But I think we're paving the way to be able to enable this at the adult level as well. And that certification is kind of the first step. So yeah, we've like just started that process. There's like a series of accuracy tests. There's some live tests you have to do like actually at a tournament, which we've basically already been doing. So we're feeling pretty good about it, but the process takes some time, and ITF has to be pretty rigorous about it. So it'll take a few months, but we're just trying to get done as soon as possible. So hopefully, like next summer, you'll start to see
It would be
SwingVision in a lot more places. Yeah, it's going to be totally
people would stop fighting. I mean, there's so many fights over line calls, which I think even for rec players, if we just put one camera up, not even do anything with it, but just have the camera up. And so that afterwards, as you said, Swupnil, I can have closure of that, that woman said that ball was in and I called it out, that I can look and be like, oh, she was right, or I was wrong, or no, I was right, I just think that adds so much to the game, because the times that I've wanted to quit tennis has been over nothing that has to do anything with the actual game of tennis. It's getting into a fight over a line call or somebody saying something with lines. Is this too early, Aaron, for you to tell your story? Or
which one?
Is it too fresh?
What? Which one?
You are a cheater?
Oh, yeah, let's tell it. It's been a couple years now. And see, that is a match. So I had a match. I will say, not that this has, the context doesn't necessarily matter, but I'll give it anyway. Our team had already lost like the team match. So we were like the last court to play. It was a makeup match. And my partner and I played two really good players. And it was a great match the whole time. I mean, they kicked our butt in the first, but we felt like we played well. We went into the second. We somehow pulled that out. And then in the tiebreaker, they were serving to me. I was playing the ad side. They were serving. They were down 8. They were serving at 8-9 to me.
Oh, wow.
And they served and the ball went back on their side. And then they flubbed it back. And my partner just kind of hit it like, that ugly spin over the net. And both of them were crashing the net to both go for it. And I stood on the baseline and my eye saw the ball for weeks, I remember, because they yelled at me. I mean, the end all be all is they called me a cheater and yelled at me for calling the ball, the way I saw it, which they said it was definitely in, but I saw in my mind the ball behind that baseline because I stood right on top of it.
Yeah.
They literally would not shake my hand. They slow clapped and said, oh, good for you for being a cheater, that you have to cheat to win USTA matches. And I was like, this means nothing in my life whatsoever. Yeah. And I swore that I called it the way that I saw it. I could have been wrong. But again, if we had SwingVision there, I would have easily said, oh, no, my watch buzzed me. You're right. That ball was, whatever it was. But it would have taken away that ugliness. And now I'll tell you, I avoid that club going to there because I'm afraid I'm going to run into those mean women, that made me cry or whatever after. Yeah. But it would just take all that away.
It would take that away. You could quickly look and be like, oh, my bad. Totally. I made a mistake.
Absolutely.
Or no, look at this.
Look, and here it is. Yeah.
There's nothing you can say to that. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
And I
we love
it
SwingVision. We love SwingVision.
I know. That's why I was like, please talk about League because we're going to need it eventually. And the technology is here. I just feel like, those organizations, I get the certifications and all that, but we've got to embrace the technology that is here, totally. at our fingertips. So,
but no, it's funny. It's interesting because I actually had kind of the opposite experience where sort of a bad call was made on me, but I think he was being totally honest. And this was a league match a few years ago, but I still remember it. And it's like being on the other side of it too. It's just like, it's just like so frustrating because it's like, I know you're being honest, but like I definitely saw that in. Yeah. And so then it's just like, what can we do though? We can't do anything because we don't have like a system to override us. Like ideally it's just like we just kind of, give up to the system's result. And it's just so much better that way. So yeah, that's definitely like what we saw at these tournaments with SoCal last year and also this year is just like, it's just so much calmer. And I mean, we even did it, I actually remember we did it at one college event too, just to like pilot with some college players because they hit so much harder. And the hooking is like a lot worse in college too. But it was received super well. And I even remember hearing multiple times that they'd be like, oh, sorry. Yeah, I guess it wasn't. Like, it was just like, they were just being genuinely like, they just got it wrong. It just happens.
Right.
And the other player was totally cool about it. So like, it can like save a lot of, I guess, arguments from happening. And then, as you said, it can also
and from
just
people
keep
quitting
people in the sport.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
So hopefully it's around the corner. But I think USG is definitely doing a good job of like really prioritizing this. And I mean, we're not the only system. They're testing multiple systems, but ours is the most affordable. So I'm hoping at least for like league, certainly it's going to be basically the only option. I think that could scale, but.
Oh, well, we also have a question we normally ask, but you always do all these cool things, Swupnil. So, and you had one time where I think it was like Andy Roddick came and you guys were having an event and he showed up and you guys were eating wings and he's watching you guys and he's staying. So you always do these neat things. Has anything like that occurred within this last year? Anything memorable or cool?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. We actually just posted a video about this like over the weekend. On our YouTube channel, and it's blown through like 100,000 views. It's crazy. So basically in San Diego last month, a few of us, including myself, went down and met up with James Blake, another one of our investors. He's actually the first investor. He invested before Andy. And we did this like funny competition where he like tried serving to us and then we just see if we could return it. Obviously like amateurs can't return a pro serve. But he kind of went easy on a couple of the serves just to give us like a chance. So it was just funny to see the contrast. And I was one of the players because basically we did like a 3-0, a 4-0 and a 5-0. So I was the 4-0 who tried to return a serve and I got 2 back, but he was obviously going like really easy on me on those 2 serves. But then the other 3, like he actually tried and I legitimately tried to just get my racket on it because I would have been happy if I just get like contact with the racket. That would have made my day. I couldn't even do that and it was insane. Like I couldn't read his serve. I couldn't go anywhere near it. And it just shows you like just how superhuman these guys are. And in my mind, I was thinking how superhuman like Novak must be to be able to return this kind of serve so easily. I was just like, how is that even like possible? So it was a really fun experience. James is like just such a nice guy. So it was really fun. And he's so sweet. Like he was like half the time we were there, he was just asking me about my baby and like, oh, what are you guys going to do? Like, how's your wife feeling? Like he was just being so nice and like so sweet. It was just crazy, but he's just the nicest guy. But it was a really fun experience. We didn't have any chicken wings, but maybe next time.
But think about this. He's been retired for years and you still couldn't return his serve.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's not even at the top of his game. And
right.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're always trying to do fun stuff. The New York one was really cool because when we met with Andy that time, that was actually like a team offsite. So our entire team came to New York and we like watched a couple matches at the US Open. And then Andy happened to be in town because he always kind of comes around for the US Open anyway. And so I just asked him if he was down to just come say hi to the team for like 10 minutes. That's it. Like I didn't want to take up too much of his time. And he was kind of free that one evening. So he came over. And then he happened to walk in right as we were doing this like Hot Ones challenge, like just like the show. So our entire team had this like funny idea, like let's do a Hot Ones challenge. We're going to buy all the sauces and like see like who can get to the end. And so Andy was only supposed to stay for like 10 minutes. And then he ended up staying for like an hour because he was so entertained. And it was funny because we actually had on the big TV screen, we had Tiafoe playing Shelton. That was like the first time they played at the US Open. That's the famous like hang up match. And so Andy was kind of watching that and then watching us. But at one point he was just like locked in watching us. It was so funny. And he was just like, he couldn't believe it. And I was like, you sure you don't want to try one? He's like, no, that's not for me. But it was so funny.
That's how competitive he is. Yeah. He's like watching you guys be competitive.
yeah. So it was funny, but we gave him a good time too, I think. But he had a lot of fun. And then in between, he was just like, people were able to kind of ask him just funny questions and stuff. Yeah. So it was cool.
He's someone I would love to hang out with.
Oh yeah, he seems really cool. And the thing is, we started our podcast before Roddick, right? But then his is like number 1 all the time.
Yeah, of course.
Why is his number 1?
We can't get to number 1.
What is it because he like can play tennis or whatever? Like
because he actually knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, like he's won Grand Slams or whatever. Yeah.
I know. Like we came in second. We came in second a couple times to the tennis podcast, the one that's out of the UK or whatever. And we're like, yeah, we got to second. And then, Andy Roddick has to start a podcast. So
and then it's like,
no chance.
Second's the highest we'll probably ever get, but that's okay.
Ever
that's
go.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, you can just add one. I mean, his doesn't really count. He's obviously going to be the number 1. So.
Yeah.
Of course. I know.
Yeah.
But aren't you guys like near him? Because you guys are you guys in North Carolina?
We're in North Carolina. Yeah, he's
he's over there. He's not too far from
He's
there.
in the mountains.
I know. You need to connect us with him. Be like,
we'll make it happen. We got to do some kind of like in-person like podcast and get like Andy to make a cameo. Like
there we go.
We'll make it happen.
That's exactly right.
Carolyn always says if we manifest it, if we put it out to the world, it'll happen.
I mean, maybe we can do a who can return Andy Roddick's serve and you guys can try.
Did you ever see that video of him playing with a frying pan?
Yeah.
That was so crazy. Like he still beat someone that was sure. Like did you see it? It was like
I haven't
he
seen
played tennis with a frying pan and he was still able to like beat the person.
Crazy.
I think we might have talked about this before because I thought he played with like the back of it. He played with like the side.
Oh,
like the
we did
inside,
talk about this before. Yeah.
Right?
That's
Where
right.
it was like the.
It was like the harder side to play with. Yeah, like
yeah, you would think like the backside of a cheap light frying pan, but no, he went like all out. I mean, he didn't win all the points, but he still like, they probably did like a pro set or something. And yeah, he still won using a pan. I can't even hit a tennis ball in the sweet spot of my tennis racket. And I don't even play with a 98. I play with like a 104.
I play with a 115.
I mean, it's big.
So
hers is even bigger.
Wow. Yeah.
Hers is like the biggest tennis. Tennis racket head you could play with.
Yeah. That's
and insane. I still can't find the sweet spot.
I know. But we're old and we came to it. I mean, what did we play growing up? I think I could beat him in basketball, right?
I'll bet you can't.
Or maybe my son could beat him in hockey. Maybe hockey.
Yeah, your son could maybe beat him in hockey. But I don't know. He's just a pure athlete. Yeah, his wife actually did a funny thing too because she's super competitive and she did this whole thing. Their kids play baseball. He filmed her and he was like, you cannot. She was like, you got to be able to slide into a base. How difficult can that be? And so he made her put on a helmet and slide, and it was a disaster.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, we'll just drive up to the mountains and do a podcast with him. I'm sure he'd love it.
I'm sure he would.
It was like when we met Jack Sock and Carolyn said to him, she said, didn't you say like, we play tennis too? And he was like,
yeah, we saw him at the CVS and it was like,
we saw him at CVS in New York.
The US Open.
So she said, tell us that story.
I saw him and I go, I think that's Jack Sock. But I was like, I don't want to bother him. And Aaron's like, let's go get a selfie.
There was 4 of us and we were all in the CVS in different spots. Like one was getting chocolate, one was here, whatever. And I think our friend Rachel, who usually is in charge of everything, she captains all of our teams. She's like you just listen to her. She was like, I think Carolyn said that was Jack Sock. And I said, go get him right now. And she went, boom, and went. And then, the 4 of us took a photo with him in like the cereal aisle or something. Yeah.
But I told him, I was like, we're not weird. We're tennis players too. And he was like, okay. Ladies.
That's so funny.
Anyway,
like tennis players in air quotes.
Yeah. We play rec tennis, so we know what it's like. So.
That's funny. I actually had like almost the same interaction with Jim Courier like years ago. So like when I first met Andy, like the very first time I ever met him to like pitch him about SwingVision, he was playing like this. I guess it's like this like legends, matches that they do where like McEnroe would play. And so I got to meet McEnroe as well and Jim Courier, and I kind of like pitched SwingVision to all of them. And like McEnroe was not interested at all. But at one point, Jim and I, he was like, he hates line calls anyway, so he was not interested.
Right.
But
it'd be a funny one to have as an investor.
I know, he would have been great. We could have gotten so much good content. Oh man,
right?
Maybe it's not too late. We'll see. Maybe
he may want to get on board now.
Get into his academy in New York first, and then we get up to him. We'll figure it out some way.
Yeah.
But with Jim, it was interesting. We had like a really long discussion, and then at one point, he was asking me about my tennis background, and so I was like, "Oh, I'm just like amateur. Like I played growing up. Like I have a lot of fun. I like watching it, but I'm not, obviously not your level or anything like that." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Just like me. Like I'm not your level in like stats, but I just do stats on TV." I was like, "That's pretty good." I was like, "That's so accurate."
Yeah.
We love speaking with Swupnil. I have been using SwingVision, and I thought my opponent called the ball out when it was in, and I went back and looked, and my opponent was right. So I realized I am part of the problem, and I will no longer be questioning anyone on line calls. Also, as mentioned in our previous episode, if you use a referral link, the pro subscription goes down from $180 to $150 for the year and includes the new swing stick for free. In addition, for coach reviews, there's going to be a 10% discount on every player's first review, and this is a limited time offer. Thanks so much for listening, and hope to see you on the court soon.